founder of Brew Parade here.
What's up, you guys?
We are here because it's the big week, 1 year.
That's it. Finally made it 1 year. Technically our 1 year is on April 1st, but since Easter got in the way of that, we're going to celebrate on March 31st.
And we're here to talk about the big party.
Yeah,
so before we get into actually what's going on, tell us about the transgression you guys have made from day one when you had like 3 or 4 taps, and now you got a badass beer garden, you got 12 taps, you got a crowd machine, you've been through Jazz Fest, Mardi Gras, Voodoo, New Orleans, everything New Orleans has to offer right here on Christmas Street. Tell us about the transgression in the past year.
Yeah, so when we first started, we were all just home brewers that jumped up to a big system. So with that, the recipe development changed slightly, but learning how to really keep the equipment clean, coming up with a consistent product was the biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
Definitely about 6-7 months in, we started getting the hang of things. We started getting some new people on. Charles from 40R Pit, Grant from Second Line Brewing.
Yeah.
We really got a culmination of solid brewers that all want to continue learning and continue education. Yeah, the brews are all there. We're catching up, keeping stock in the cooler. It was hard keeping up those first few months. Kept running out of beer, but now we're to the point where at least we'll have, 10 to 12 beers any given day.
Well, for these guys that don't know, this is the only brewery in the Marigny, and they're in the heart of really where our tourism center is, French Quarter, Marigny, into the Frenchman Street area. So they get a lot of foot traffic here. So tell us about 65 beers you guys made last year, 20 different styles. How are you going to top that in 2018?
Yeah, so everybody that works here, we don't have a specific style that we all gravitate towards. We really like every type of beer. Every single style has their own unique qualities that you won't get unless you go all across the board. Being that we're in this hub next to one of the larger touristy areas in the city, we get a lot of people from out of town that don't necessarily like New England style IPAs. They don't like blonde ales. They don't like ambers. So we try to have something all across the board where everybody that comes here will have something they can pick. So it always keeps it interesting. I always have to play with new recipes.
Yep.
Now that we have more brewers, we're looking at adding more tanks. Definitely a lot more of our pilot system tanks, so we can continue turning out stuff. We even got a little funky tank back there now, just for 1-barrel sours and everything. Our 1 year anniversary, we'll actually have 21 different beers on tap. Includes a couple cask ales, a couple barrel aged beers.
So while we get into that, tell us those beers that you're going to have. Usually you only have 12 taps, so now you got 21 for the party.
Yeah.
Tell us about a couple of brews that we haven't heard of yet that you're going to be able to taste this weekend.
So some of our more popular beers lately are our New England styles. We have Trust Me It's Worth the Parking, which is a regular New England IPA. Dry hop heavily with Idaho 7 hops. Then we made Dad Jokes, which is a double version. Super high alcohol, really easy drink in New England, dry hop with Vic Secret and Pecco hops. And since we did Dad Jokes, we needed to do a mom beer. So we came up with Mom Jeans. And that's going to be the triple IPA we release. That clocks in at 10.6%. And we actually have 2 cask versions of that beer. One on papaya and guava. The other one will be dragon fruit and mango.
Wow, that's gonna be nice. Speaking of these cool names, the cool part about Brew Parade is they actually name their beer before they actually make it. And Trust Me It's Worth the Parking, one of my favorites. I also like My Tart Will Go On, which is a raspberry sour. Is that right?
Yeah.
That Celine Dion. So tell us about how that concept came about, how you guys name your beers, and what's your favorite one that you made?
Yeah, so everybody always complains that all the good puns are taken. So really just name a beer anything as long as it sparks interest. So even for a while we had a beer, it was a saison aged with muscadine grapes. And so we named the beer Stacy because we ran out of names for a second. So the beer was ready to be served, and so last second we're like, all right, let's just name it a human name. So we had a sign outside that said, "Hey, come in, say hello to Stacy." And we were sold out of that beer really quick just because people were coming in just to say hey to Stacy.
That's funny. Hey, whatever works,
Yes.
Anyway, so party is going to be this Saturday, March 31st. Doors open at 11 a.m. Going to go all the way to midnight. Is that right?
Yeah, we'll stay open until, and honestly, until it's hard to get people out. We'll have 21 different beers, cask ales spread out throughout the day. Especially beers that we've saved from past brews. We'll start bringing those back. We'll have full bar up here. The back will have 8 taps and a beer garden. We'll actually take over the parking lot next door, and then across the street, Downtown Tattoo is letting us use their courtyard as well. So we'll have a whole other spot where people can hang out.
Oh, wow.
Multiple food vendors throughout the day.
Gonna be a hell of a party.
Yeah, it'll definitely stray away from being the cramped brewery that everybody's used to, and we'll have like 4 times as much space on that day.
Very nice, very nice. Well, Robert,
Yeah,
appreciate it, man. We look forward to having you.
Yeah, definitely.